One of the most common questions I get from put sellers is, what do I do when a trade moves against me? Most beginners do one of two things. They panic and close for a loss, or they freeze and do nothing, and neither is the right answer. Rolling your cash secured put is a professional way to manage a position that's moving against you, and done correctly, it lets you reduce your risk, but often stay profitable on a trade even when the stock has dropped significantly against you. Today, I'm going to give you the complete framework for rolling cash secured puts, walk you through the rules I follow, and then show you real examples of how it plays out in practice. I'm Gavin from Options Trading IQ, and I've been trading options for 22 years. I'm a corporate authorized representative under an Australian financial services license, and everything here is general education only. Rolling a put simply means closing your existing position and simultaneously opening a new one with different terms. That could be a lower strike price, a later expiration date, or both. You're not abandoning the trade, you're adjusting it. Think of it like a chess move. When the position is under pressure, rather than tipping over your king, you reposition. You buy yourself more time, move your strike to a safer level, and give the stock more room to recover. The mechanics are pretty straightforward. You buy to close your current put and sell to open a new put. Ideally, you can do this as a single order, and most brokers call this a roll or a diagonal spread. Knowing when to roll is just as important as knowing how. Here are the 4 triggers that I use. Trigger 1 is if the stock is approaching your strike. I generally start considering a roll when the stock is within 2 to 3% of my short put strike. Don't wait until it's already in the money to act. That being said, if you actually want to take ownership of the stock, and that's not a bad thing in most cases, just leave the put alone and let it get assigned. Trigger number 2, we want to make sure that the fundamental thesis is still intact. So you believe that the drop in the stock price is temporary or due to broad market noise, not a broken business model. I shared some examples of this in a recent video. Trigger number 3 for rolling is when your profit target is reached. So that's a good scenario. And if you've achieved, say, 50 to 80% of the profit potential, whatever your rule is, you can roll out in time to generate more premium while maintaining the same exposure. These are the 5 rules I follow every time I roll a put. Rule number 1, always roll for a credit. This is the most important rule. When you roll, the premium you collect on the new put should exceed what you paid to close the existing one. You're not locking in a loss, you're receiving additional income or premium for extending your obligation. If you can't roll for a credit, you need to rethink the strike or the expiration that you're targeting. Rule number 2 is to roll the strike down, but only if it makes sense. Rolling the strike down gives you a wider buffer and a lower potential assignment price. Even dropping $2 to $5 on the strike can make a meaningful difference over multiple rolls. Rule 3 is to extend your DTE, roll out at least 1 expiration cycle, sometimes 2. That gives the stock more time to recover. Rule number 4 is don't roll into earnings. Check the earnings date before you open a new position, but sometimes you can't avoid it, but try to avoid it if you can. And rule number 5 is know your limit. Set a maximum number of rolls before you take assignment. I typically cap it at 2 or 3. After 2 or 3 rolls, the position is likely drifted far enough from your original price that accepting assignment and switching to covered calls or a wheel trade is a better path forward. Let's put this into practice. I'm going to walk you through a couple of examples so you can see exactly how these rolls look with real numbers. So example number 1 is on Cisco. We're looking at the August 110 put. We've got about 3 DTE, 3 days to expiration, and we're still out of the money, but we're getting pretty close in terms of the price, and there's very little time premium left. So this is a good scenario where, look, if we're happy to take assignment, we could leave it alone. And if it drops below 110, we take the 100 shares, we start selling covered calls. That's totally fine. But if we want to delay assignment or just roll the exposure for another month, we could roll that out to the September expiration and the 110 strike, or we could even roll out to September and roll down in price. So let's take a look. Now we're going to look at a few different examples here. So basically, to roll this position, we would buy this one back. That's going to cost us about 50 cents or $50 per contract. Now, again, you can do this via one order, but for simplicity's sake, we pay $50 to close that one out. If we roll out, say, 2 weeks, we keep the strike the same, we're going to get about $1.70 for that one. So our net credit for the roll is about $1.20. And there's our new expiration graph, looking much better than it was previously. And the other thing we want to do is run this through the cash secured put calculator. There's a link below if you want to download this. And we want to just check our stats. The main ones I'm looking at is the decrease to the break even and the annualized return potential. We want to make sure we're happy with this number here. Let's look at a couple of other examples. If we were to roll out to September, and again, keeping the strike the same, we're going to get more of a credit because we're going further out in time. And here you can see our new risk graph where we've got nearly $245 in profit potential here remaining. Don't forget we have had to pay $50 to buy this one back. So we're getting a net credit of about $195 to roll out 1 month. And again, plugging those numbers into our calculator, we see we're getting a little bit more of a decrease to our break even by rolling out the full month. And in exchange, or the trade-off is we're getting a slightly lower annualized return. So again, it's all about finding something that you're happy with. The final alternative, if we want to be a little bit more conservative and we want to lower our potential assignment price, we could roll out to the September monthly expiration, roll the strike down $5. We're still going to get about a $50 to $52 credit for that roll, and we've significantly lowered our potential assignment price. Now, the big trade-off here is we are getting a much bigger decrease to our break-even price or to our assignment price, but we're also getting a much lower annualized return. So a lot of people wouldn't want to choose this one. They're probably going to keep the strike the same at 110. Again, our obligation is exactly the same. We're still having to buy the shares or potentially buy the shares at 110. So it's really a trade-off. Do we want to keep the strike the same, keep that annualized return nice and high, or do we want to be more conservative, roll the strike down, but in exchange for that, we have to accept a lower annualized return? Here's another example, this time with Apple. Again, we're just a couple of days out from expiration, but this one's actually gone in the money. Now, we're probably not going to get assigned yet because there's still a little bit of time premium remaining in the trade, but we are getting very close to assignment. That's fine. If we want to buy the 100 shares of the stock and move to phase 2 of the wheel, start selling covered calls, totally fine. But if we wanted to delay assignment, roll the exposure out to September, we can potentially do that and receive a credit, or we could actually roll the strike down as well. So let's look at a couple of alternatives and see what might be the best option here. So first example, if we roll out to September, keep the strike price the same, we're going to get a credit of a bit under $500. So that's a pretty nice credit. We've still got the same obligation of buying at 310, but we've generated $440 in premium. And we can see here, we still have a decrease to our break-even price because of the premium, but we are rolling to an in-the-money strike. So our assignment risk is there, but we're getting a pretty nice annualized return if the stock does recover above 310. Pretty nice looking trade. Now, I know I said earlier about always rolling for a credit, but in this case, we could roll down to the 300 strike, and we'll do that for a slight debit of about $30. So again, it depends on your priorities. Are you more concerned with avoiding assignment, or do you want to keep the strike price the same and get more premium? If we roll down to 300, we're still getting some pretty decent stats here, about a 22% annualized return. So again, with each trade, it's all about deciding on your priorities and how determined you are to either avoid assignment or take assignment. Now, here's another couple of alternatives. If we were to roll out 2 months and roll all the way out to October, we can actually roll the strike down $10, get it back out of the money, and we're still also receiving a credit. And in fact, we could roll all the way down to $295, and we would still get a small credit of about $80 or so. And we've reduced our obligation by about $1,500 because we've dropped that strike price by $15. So again, that's something that people might like to do depending on how keen they are to take ownership of the Apple stock. The other thing I like to do whenever I roll a cash secured put is I like to put it into my wheel tracker, and it just helps me keep track of everything in terms of the premium that I've received, how the trade's doing, what my break-even price is, etc. So I've got this one set up with the initial trade, and then I'll just show you quickly how to fill this in. We put today's date. This is going to be a buy to close. You can just start typing. You can see we've got CC for covered call. I actually use this for credit spreads as well. So this is bull put spread, bear call spread, and we're going to do buy to close cash secured put. And we can copy all of this data. And this is going to be, it was 560. This will be a debit. Now you could change this to be formula driven if you like. I just come in here and just quickly change that to negative 100. So it's a negative cash flow. And current value to close, we've actually closed it out. So we can just zero those out. And then the new position, we can also just copy a lot of this. This is going to be a sell to open. This is our new trade. We've gone out to October 16th, and we've dropped our strike to 295. The premium for that one was 675. I'll just put negative $1 for the premium, and I can copy that. And then the current value to close is 675. And I'll just change these ones to closed. And then I can filter here by the status, and I'll remove the closed ones. And then there's my new position. Now I could leave all of that on there if I want to see the history. The other question that comes up sometimes on this spreadsheet is how to bring in the current price of Apple. So that's automated here with Google Finance. What we need to do is just put the ticker into here. So for example, if I just change that to Microsoft and enter, and then go back into the cell, I just go back in here and select Microsoft, and then that automatically brings in the Microsoft price. We'll change it back to Apple, and that's just going to update every time I open the spreadsheet. Now, if that doesn't work, what you can do is go onto data and stocks, and then that's where you can kind of search for the stock here. Shouldn't have to do that, but sometimes it's a little bit buggy, or the connection with Google Finance drops out or whatever, but that's how to change that. Otherwise, everything's pretty straightforward. You've got a blank tab here if you want to start a new one, or you can just copy a previous one. This is, again, available for download in the description below. So I want to just quickly show you an old example as well to demonstrate the power of the wheel and how rolling and doing some of these adjustments can actually result in a profitable trade even when the stock's down. So this was an example on FXI. Lasted a few years. The stock over that period was down about 22%. This trade made about 3,500 or about 14%. So again, shows you the power of the wheel strategy. I've got plenty of other videos on that if you want to check those out. The key thing I want you to notice across these examples is that in each case, the stock has moved against the original position. It's dropped, and sometimes that can be a significant drop. But by rolling systematically, the total premium collected over the life of the trade keeps building, and the effective assignment price keeps improving. Rolling isn't always the right answer, and I want to be honest about that. If the stock has broken down fundamentally, that could be a dividend cut, an earnings disaster, or a structural change in the business. Rolling is just delaying an inevitable loss on a stock you should no longer want to own. In that scenario, closing the position outright and taking the loss is the correct move. Similarly, if rolling for a credit requires you to go really far out in expiration, say 6 months or more, then that capital is tied up indefinitely, and that may not be a good trade-off. Again, it's individual choice. The capital that you're tying up for, say, 6 months has an opportunity cost, and sometimes the better decision is to accept assignment, start selling covered calls, work your way out of the position that way, or switch to a different underlying. The rule of thumb I use is this: if I'd be genuinely happy owning the stock at the current strike price, I take assignment, and if I want a delayed assignment, I roll it out. But if I wouldn't be happy owning the stock, I close the position and move on. Rolling is one of the most valuable tools a put seller has, but it requires discipline. Try and roll for a credit, move the strike down if you can, extend your time, and try to avoid earnings if at all possible. And also know when to stop. You don't want to keep rolling indefinitely. But done properly, rolling transforms what looked like a losing trade into a very manageable one, and sometimes even a profitable one, even when the stock has moved significantly against you. If you want to grab a free copy of my cash secured put calculator and the wheel tracker, the links are down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.